Buddha. OB, you made it hit, nigga.
Hello, and welcome to BOP Houston Rockets podcast. I am your boy, Drip God, on YouTube at Drip God. And I got my two boys with me here. I got George and Coach Deontay. And what's going on, guys?
All is well. Excited to be here, man. Ready to get started.
Ready to get started. Didn't go well for us the other night, but it didn't go well for us the other night. But I'm ready to get into everything.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to talk about offense and defense as well as that went, as we saw. Sengun's massive poster, by the way. Oh my goodness. Can't believe it didn't count. I like to talk about Silas a little bit here. And then as well as some rotational minutes and what to look forward to later on. I'm going to start us off with our offense. So as we saw, Jalen Green really did not produce as much as we hoped for. He shot 5 for 17 from the field at 29%, but he did shoot 2 for 3 from the three, so we're doing well on that. 14 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block, and 0 turnovers. I know this is the thing we really need to struggle with as a team, but Jalen did not shoot too many shots in the fourth quarter. I was really upset about that. Third and fourth quarter, second half of the game, he went for 1 for 4. How do you guys feel about
that? Me personally, I am the one who has been harping on him a lot. I have a high expectation of him. And we kind of needs to be there as we move forward as a team. So it's not this is unacceptable. Like, everyone's gonna have bad games, so I'm not gonna hold it against them. But in times like this, when we're going against easy opponents where you are expected to win or expected to perform, you can't let these games slip by. So I won't hold it against him for like him as Jalen Green, but I will hold him accountable for that particular game because it does fall on him first, in my opinion. So yeah, man, it's just unacceptable, but he'll get better in hopes, right?
Yeah, man. Like I say, first, and another thing I want to elaborate, he didn't get back into the game until San Antonio was up 15. Him and Kevin Porter Jr. It was 104 to 89. By that time, the game was already over when San Antonio got on that run in the third quarter. I thought the ball stopped moving in the third quarter. I thought Kevin Porter, he's not really a playmate. He's a scorer first point guard. But at the end of the day, we was too sly. We started out really good in the third quarter. We started out with a 7-point lead, 63-56. And then all of a sudden the ball just stopped moving. And when San Antonio hit 4 threes back to back with Keldon Johnson, Trey Jones, and with Malachi Branham, the ball movement just stopped moving. We started getting a little stagnant on the offensive side of the ball. We couldn't really go in the paint because Bassey, the backup center, was swatting everything up out of there. I just thought we got more stagnant. We turned the ball over 3 straight times to begin the second quarter. That's one thing that was upsetting me a little bit. Sloppy basketball at times, fast break points. We were just atrocious getting back on defense. We wasn't stopping the basketball as much. Setting the perimeter defense was just god awful. Guys wasn't closing out on open 3-point shots. I understand when you get a scouting report on Trey Jones, you're looking at he's not that good of a shooter, but you cannot go up under a screen without having a hard, at least trying to close out up on them. Every shot that they pretty much shot was uncontested pretty much. You just can't have that. That's just too much lack of effort. That's just not really buying in on the defensive side of the ball. And you got to put most of that on Coach Stephen Silas, the rotational pieces. I would like to really see Ty Washington get some minutes. And I want to see Josh Christopher more in the rotation. I just really think Stephen Silas kind of messing up his growth a little bit. I really think he can bring a little athleticism a little bit. And Daishen Nix, he's not really that fast. He's not really that fast. He can't really blow by people. That's why I like more Ty Washington. He can be more of that playmaking and facilitator, and he's a little bit more athletic. But the second half, we just self-destruct on the second half. San Antonio wanted it more. They played more harder than we did. They got the 50-50 balls. They rebounded it better. We just self-destructed in the second half when it came to the second half.
Absolutely. Going back to our boys, KPJ shot 5 for 16 and went 0 for 4 from 3. We don't really like to see that from a point guard, but nonetheless, he had 12 points.
Shoot, right? Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's been wet like water from the catch and shoot. I think he's shooting about 49.4% from catch and shoot, especially in corners, about almost 55%. It's pretty good, but this game, wasn't showing up. 12 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists with 3 turnovers, Again, it's those turnovers really, really lacking. We had Eric Gordon at the top of the second quarter. Within 20 seconds, he had back-to-back turnovers, first an errant pass, and then he got called for a travel with our boy Şengün later on. Can we talk about some positivity, please? That boy got up. Oh, my goodness.
Boy.
Oh, man, he had Zach Collins on the floor crying, man.
What's up with that, man? Zach Collins has been getting the worst of things lately, huh?
last couple games, he's getting bullied. But, hey, it's fine. It is what it is. For some reason, it was called an offensive foul, whatever. We'll roll with it. But Şengün went coast to coast with that. He shot from the field 47% with 16 points and 11 rebounds. I'd like to see that. He had 7 offensive rebounds. 7 offensive rebounds. We were getting chance after chance. He also had 2 assists to tack onto that, but he had 3 fouls and 3 turnovers in about 29 minutes of play. We're getting better, at least when it comes to some of our offensive screw-ups. We can only do so much. Something I also like to talk about here, rotational minutes. For some reason, Knicks is playing almost 20 minutes a night. What in the world is going on? We just said Jacob down to the G League? No, absolutely not.
Hey, but no, so on that tip, I'm okay with Jacob in the G League because this regime doesn't appreciate Gup enough. So me personally, I don't have an issue with it. I think that, if you don't mind my little rant on rotational minutes, bro, like it's really not that hard, bro. Like it really is super simple. I know we have a lot of young talent, but like we prioritize like our previous pieces. Like I feel like other teams would have cut those pieces, trade them, move on from them. Garrison Matthews, even Gordon, even Tate. Even though Tate was good for us, people would have moved on from Tate. When you look at rotational minutes in our locker room, I mean, sometimes we run like 10, 11 deep sometimes, right? And it's like, and even sometimes more than that, depending on how the game goes, right? And I'm just like, guys, like, one, I understand Jabari's on the floor, but when he's on the floor, you don't utilize him, right? So that's one part of rotations, like not just being on the floor, but also utilized there, right? And then 2, like when someone's ineffective, take them off, give them less minutes. I don't know why Knicks get so many minutes. He has not been effective or helpful. He has not been a team player. Those 1 or 2 passes that you get that flash his point guard does not indicate that he's better than KPJ or will be a better point guard than Ty. It doesn't make sense. He just should not be getting that much minutes. I don't support it. I don't like it. I'm glad. I don't even know if Garrison played yesterday, but I didn't see him, so I'm glad he just. Yeah, okay, good. I'm glad he wasn't there. But man, like, let's stop the feel-good stories, man. Like, let's focus on development. Let's focus on scheme. Let's focus on getting our young talent the comfortable on the floor and help them grow. Like, stop with all this extra stuff. Eric Gordon should not be started. You know what I'm saying? Eric Gordon should not be playing this long. Like it doesn't make sense. So sorry for the rant, but like that's something that's big for me. Like, bro, come on. Man.
No, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. The way Tari Eason play, I wouldn't mind if he be not like. That's what I'm saying. I think. The way the start of the season, KJ Martin and Tari Eason playing lights out, man. Them boys, both you can make an argument. Both of them could easily be in the starting lineup over Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon should be a guy that could come off the bench. Garrison Matthews shouldn't even be playing for this basketball team. And Daishen Nix, he doesn't do anything when he gets out there anyway. So he just been on the floor just to be out there. So. Again, like I said, I think Ty Washington is a better point guard. Like I said, I think he's just more athletic. He's damn sure a better passer than Daishen Nix. He can shoot just as good as Daishen Nix. Daishen Nix can rally hell. He can rally get up the free throw line and shoot free throws. All I care about. But at the end of the day, man, I think Josh Christopher Tata should be playing some basketball. I just don't think sometimes Steven Silas knows what he's doing. Then Jae'Sean Tate, you got to find when he comes back, you're gonna work him. You're gonna try to do whatever it takes to work him in. Now you get the rotation kind of thing. Now who you gonna play? Now it's Tari Eason minutes is gonna go down. Whose minutes is gonna take a hit when he comes back in? Because Coach Steven Silas does like Jae'Sean Tate, and then when he does come back, what he does, he fouls out, he gets technical fall. So at the end of the day, man, I definitely 1000% agree with you, Pastor. I was on that same level. Tyree Easton or KJ should be starting at the 3. One of those guys should be starting at the 3 3 spot.
Let me ask you this, Dante. So Christopher, right? So he's going to the G League, and a lot of times, over the offseason, we heard him say he views himself as a combo guard. Someone's told him that from the organization. I know that at one point they viewed him more like a Drew Holiday. I think that's what the front office said at one point. I think even Silas was saying, I want him to focus more on defense. But as of lately, it seems as if like they want him to want the ball in his hands. They want him to learn how to pass the ball and stuff like that. Like I guess the question resides around the idea of like, would you rather him go to the G League and go develop a like offensive game, be more efficient, score, right? Or would you rather him learn how to play make while in the G League? Because, well, I explain why I asked the question afterwards. So what do you think?
Yeah. So we know he can score. I mean, he's a bucket. It don't matter what level. He's a 3-level scorer at heart. So I would really like him to add to his game and be more of a passer, right? If we're gonna keep him, especially for Knicks, we want maybe a third or fourth tertiary ball handler. You know, we got Ty, KPJ, and Jalen already. For some reason, we're still using Eric Gordon as Point Gordon, and we've seen how that's worked. You know, I think Josh is already pretty effective enough for what we've seen of him as a PG/shooting guard. I would love to see his playmaking take off.
Okay. What about you, Dante?
Yeah, I would love to see his playmaking take off. We know he can score, but as of right now, as I view him, he's more one of those guys that's coming off the bench and give you instant offense. Like Eric Gordon, when he's playing a point guard position, he is not no playmaker. Eric Gordon is a flat out, just straight up score. When every time Eric Gordon passes the ball, you see what he passes it to. Out of bounds, he passes it in the stands, or he throws it off somebody late. Eric Gordon, his whole career has not been a playmaker. He has been a scorer. And that's what reminds me of Josh Christopher right now. He's just more of a playmate, more of a scoring type of person that can come off the bench and just fill it up. But you want to see everybody get better. You want to see him get better at playmaking ability as well. You want to see him become more that pass first point guard. That's why I want to see Kevin Porter. Sometime when Kevin Porter down the stretch, he's so interested in scoring the basketball and shooting up tough shot. I want to see him be more of a first point guard. But at the end of the day, man, like I say, man, I don't mind him being in the G League because again, he's not playing anyway. So won't go down to the G League and work on your game. I don't mind him being there because he's not playing. He's not getting the minutes.
That's the number one thing is that he's not playing. So the G League is probably the best part for him. Now, I disagree, not to start the banter, but I disagree with the part of him being a pass first point guard. He's not a point guard, you know what I mean? And that's just like a fact. I don't even think he's a combo guard. I think that he's maybe a two-way shooting guard, small forward archetype, but he's undersized at the 3. Okay. And I think that if we had him focus more on scoring and being a bucket off the bench, because he's never going to start for us, right? And there's a lot of teams that he'll never start for around the league. But if he learns how to play off-ball defense, if he learns how to score and move without the ball in his hands, that's better basketball for the Houston Rockets. And I say that because when you look around the league, how many pass first point guards or guards come off the bench and help teams win? I don't think that there's many. I think there's a lot of them that are veterans and who have high IQ basketball, right? And those guys have found success later on in their career, 27, 28, 31, 32, right? Josh Christopher is young. He needs to develop what he's already good at so that where we can value what he's good at. Only the Houston Rockets and the Houston Texans take players and say, I want you to work on the things you're bad at, okay? Like, no, what you're good at, and then we'll go from there, and we'll help you build. And he'll obviously an NBA player, so he will get it as time comes as far as the passing and playmaking is concerned.
See, look, I'm all for want to make our people better at everything, be a completely all-around player. But while they're this young, I'm not trying to teach a new dog, new tricks, right? Mm-hmm. That can come down the layer line. I think Josh is also pretty intelligent. He's fairly high IQ basketball player for how old he is and for his few minutes that he does play. I agree with you. Getting some burn down in the G League is better than nothing at all and riding the bench like Boban. As good as it is for Bowman to get his 4 or 5 minutes every 6 games, I don't want that for Josh. I also don't think he is. I agree with you. I don't think he is a starting shooting guard small forward at the moment. But if he can, build that playmaking down in the G League, Awesome, great, good. But I mean, what he had,
Atari Houston, though, bro, off the bench. Atari Houston and him, that's scoring. That's consistent scoring every game, every other game. I think that's healthy in their prime, especially too. So just adding that there.
no, absolutely, absolutely. Especially their high motor. You know, we don't have too many guys on our team that want to, you know, always give 100%. But no matter what kind of day it is, you know, the Goon Squad comes in and really gives it to them. I would like to see Josh part of that Goon Squad one day.
Yes, exactly.
Alrighty. So as for our starters, I like to talk about some of the plus minus and whatnot. Our starters combined for a minus 71 overall. For those of you who do not know, the plus minus is usually determined to kind of show you how much you're getting outscored or scoring over the opponent while you're on the floor. So a combined of negative 71, they got scored by 71 points total. That is horrible. With an overall of 11 fouls between our 5 starters. I understand that calls get called, you know, one way or another, but we got to clean it up down low. It seems like since our boy Harden left us, fouls have just really taken off for our team. I understand being young. I understand just coming in really wanting to learn the game, so that plays a large factor, and that'll eventually dip off. But 11 fouls against the Spurs, just as your starters, is atrocious. I believe KPJ and Jalen both had 3 fouls as it was. I think I'm wrong. Jalen had 1 foul, but KPJ, Şengün, and Jabari all had 3 fouls. Jabari, I'll give it to him. And Şengün has been, you know, foul prone, but he plays our defense, so I'm okay with that. But I mean, KPJ, you know, as good as he is,
percentage, you know.
yeah.
You know, to be fair, when plus minuses come out, like that's one of like the things I'm big on. I used to like is a metric, especially when you understand quarters and how quarters are played. When I look at the plus minus and I understand like this was like bad for us, right? But Eric Gordon is the primary reason for like our bad plus minus. I just want to be clear about that. But this game specifically is because of like how bad our 1 and 2 guards were in this game. So like I can give a pass a little bit because of I know the context, but it's just like I mean we're not actually we don't want to get into it, but we're just not putting them in successful situations for the plus or minus to even like be like negative, like it can't even, you know what I mean, like can't even be like a -5 or whatever, -20, right? You know what I'm saying? So I don't like it. And they're young, so they'll learn and hopefully get better. But man, you got to put them in good position and like remove things that hold them back, which is EG. But
yeah, EG especially. You know, I love him as much as he has, and I don't have a problem with playing him every couple of games. You know, give him his veteran minutes. But, you know, right now we should be letting him ride the bench, get those knees good, get his ankle good, get his arm and everything good, get healthy, and just trade him. You know, I'm cool with getting a mid to late first round for him, and maybe we can sweeten the deal with the second round, but who knows? You know, but that's all.
I've said, you're not gonna like what I've said for him, man. I've said some really heinous things of what I think I should get for him. So that was you being generous there.
I really do like Gordon. You know, I understand that Silas has him as his go-to guy right now, and you know he's just probably out of it. I mean, at this point in his career, he just wants to win, and I respect him for staying so long and not quitting like a certain somebody. But you know, you can only do so much. So for our bench though, our starters, you know, come on for that -71. For some reason, our bench went crazy and at a +26 with 8 fouls. As a team, we shot 45% from the field, 44 out of 98 field goals, and 34.5% from 3, which is all right. You know, probably around league average. It's all right. But out of that,
I'm sorry, I was just saying, would you even attribute that to like the fact that our rotations are bad, that our benches has a better plus minus?
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely.
All right,
like, yeah. So out of our 14 turnovers, we, you know, as a team, we were able to manage 4 fast break points total. I can't believe, you know, out of the 16 turnovers we were to cause for the San Antonio Spurs, 4 fast break points to their 21. I mean, we're supposed to be a run and gun team, right? We're supposed to get out, cool fast break dunks, layups, make sure we get a quick open 3 maybe. But that's kind of what we're supposed to be, and we're really not getting it. Anyone know why?
Like I said, when you turning the ball over, and most of your turnovers is live ball turnovers, and the way the Spurs were getting them, I mean, sometimes most of those, it was kind of a mixture of live ball turnovers and transition defense. Trey Jones just gets the ball. He just goes coast to coast, and nobody just really stops the ball with speaking. And again, we have too many live ball turnovers. When we turn the ball over, it doesn't be out of bounds. You don't throw it out of bounds and make your defense set up. When we turn the ball over, there are live ball turnovers which start transition fast breaks, and no one just being able to stop the ball. Then on the defensive side of the ball, if you're going to go up under a screen, you're supposed to be able to make a guy shoot. You went up on the screen with Trey Jones all night and you still didn't make him shoot. That shows how poor the perimeter defense was, and how poor the defense was as a whole. So most of the turnovers and stuff, they were just basically live ball turnovers, and San Antonio and Keldon Johnson then was just taking advantage of the live ball turnovers, and we just have nobody really to stop the basketball. And plus, I mean, again, it was just so bad last night. I mean, you coming off a win against the 76ers, which you started down late. Like the last 4 games, we started 15-2, 10-0. I mean, 10-3. We've been getting off to late starts. You picked the game to get off to a faster start, but you shit the bed in the third quarter. You don't play with no effort. The San Antonio Spurs play harder than you, and then the ball was stagnant. One thing San Antonio is good at, and that's why I respect Coach Popovich, they keep the ball moving to get better shots. They keep the ball moving. They keep the ball rotating around, and we just sit up there and stagger the ball all day. And plus, the Spurs got whatever they want on the defensive side on the offensive side of the ball, and plus wide open threes. When they hit those 4 threes in a row, you can just sense the momentum. Going away, and the Rockets could not score. They could not score. They couldn't go into the paint because Bassett was blocking everything up out of there. So I think the Rockets was out of sync. They were out of rhythm. I mean, it was just everything just went wrong in the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, we got outscored by 16, 23-39. I mean, who gives up 40 points to the Spurs unless you're the Lakers? I mean, in a single quarter, nonetheless, I was flabbergasted. You had something.
I mean, like, effort is like kind of like understated a lot. I mean, we like okay, you said a second ago, like the San Antonio Spurs, one thing to do is keep the ball moving, right? But like, I hear you, it seems to keep the ball moving, but one thing about the Spurs is like they are always there. And I mean, I'm sure they have bad games, right? But attention to detail and then focus is really my main point I want to harp on. Is like when you're bringing the ball up court, and I'm talking to my favorite KPJ, when you bring the ball up court, where's the like the attention? Why are you last days go with the ball? Why are you walking it up? Why are you getting assists thinking that everything is cool? This is not, and one. Like, come out here, let's get this win, let's focus. When you bring the ball up court, you are a professional basketball player. Play like a professional. When the ball is up in the air, chase the ball down. When you're playing off-ball defense, keep an eye on your man. Focus. If a ball goes up, and even if you think it's going to miss or if you think it's going in, still play. Box out. You know what I'm saying? When on offense, to your point, Coach, on offense, when you're going down court and the shot goes up, you guys are celebrating. Y'all guys are watching it go in, watching it miss. Guys, close on the basketball. Cut off ball. Pay attention. What is going on the floor, and take advantage of that. It's not that hard, but it doesn't start with I don't know if Silas is capable of coaching that. I don't believe so. But one thing that you can coach is just focus. What's going on the floor, and how can I manipulate that? How can I manipulate angles? How can I take advantage of this particular opponent against me? So if someone's undersized and I can get past them, how can I utilize this particular opponent to draw the defense away from something or somebody to get the ball over there to them? That's super simple. And I don't play basketball. I just know that is simple to do, right? So I'm saying, bro, come on, man. Like, pay attention first. I see Jalen Green a lot of times. He's just walking on the court. I see KPJ walking the ball up the court, right? The only people you see give effort is who? They don't even get many minutes. Garuba, Tyrese. Yeah, sometimes Jabari oftentimes enough, even though he does when he has his good days, when he's in the mood, a lot of times he does get when he doesn't get the ball, he's just waiting, and that gets on my nerves. But on defense, it's kind of like, he's still got a lot of work on because he's undersized as far as strength.
He's a little strength. Yeah, he's a little undersized because of his weight. He's a little small. He's small.
Yeah, but he's long enough though, so definitely that'll get better. The point is that, I mean, I can't wait for everybody, right? So if I'm saying I'll give the excuses for Jabari, well, okay, it's his year one, he'll get better. I can't be mad and saying, Jalen, it's year 2 for you. You're going on year 3 and you're not paying attention. That's unacceptable, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The reason why, to your point, we have loose balls that are live is because we get stripped on the court. We lose the balls off of our knees and our foot. It's right there on the court. It's not like we're like sometimes, like you said, Air Gordon throws it out of bounds. That's okay. But the point is that a lot of what our mistakes are because we are not being professionals with the ball. You ain't professional, bro.
Not attentive enough.
Yes, be attentive. Excuse me, I was gonna,
yeah. Nah, for real. I mean, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. You know, like you said, we're pretty lackadaisical. You know, just kind of going around, pretty lazy, like you said, KVG and Jalen, just kind of really just walking up the court. You know, I mean, you get the ball, you need to hustle for it. You know, I mean, you want to win, right? Like, I understand we're tanking, but like, a player doesn't want to lose. You know, you want to win every gosh dang game you play, right? When I play rec, you know, sometimes I go out there, I want to win every game. Do I? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not that good. But I go out there with the intention to win, right? Yep. It doesn't matter who you are. You want to go out there and give 100%. Thank you, Tari. Thank you, Şengün. Yes, I mean, come on, guys. Usman, come on, man.
I when they play this line, I like the Garuba and Eason when they play together. They bring a lot of energy on the basketball floor. And Tari Eason, like I said, I'm not gonna lie, he's my favorite Rocket. When he comes on the floor, the guy comes ready to play. He comes ready to play every single time. He's gonna give you the effort on the defensive side of the ball. He's gonna and plus he can put the ball in the basket. That man is a very underrated shooter and driving to the basket. And I like when he comes on the floor because it's like the energy level out of him uppens it up enough, and then he's always around the basketball. He's just always around the basketball. Whatever that basketball goes, you just see him fighting for rebounds, fighting for 50-50 balls. And against San Antonio, everybody wasn't doing that. It was a lot of long rebounds San Antonio was getting that they shot short, and nobody was available but a green jersey was right there to get the offensive rebound. So we got to clean up our effort level. Our effort level wasn't good in the third quarter against San Antonio.
Yeah, especially since we're shooting, 10 for 29 from the three. I mean, those long, like you said, those long rebounds is coming out. We just shoot it and stand there and wait for it to go on, or shoot it and just slowly walk back. I mean, we got to be hustling out here. That's what really causes, some of those quick fast break points. Again, they had like 16 more than us. What?
Yeah, I mean,
the Spurs.
And keep in mind, like, the reason that we lost this game is because we let them stay in early, and then like usually those 10-point swings usually bring a team that you're beating back into the game. In this case, it put them ahead of us. They were scoring in the paint at a efficient rate in the first 2 quarters. I mean, like, man, like when we're having a bad game and we're not scoring, and I mean, I promise you, we can run, and this is kind of crazy to say it this way. You know how the Texans usually run like like they run an offensive set to see where the defense is just how they're playing, right? And the Houston Rockets should, encompass some form of that. Let's run some sets for Jabari. Let's run some sets for Şengün. Let's run some sets for Jalen.
More post ups.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to get into. If Jalen is not having a good game, right, then we shouldn't force feed him. But if he is having a good game, we should. But we should always rely on Jabari and Şengün to get us a few points whenever we're getting stagnant on offense. It's really not that hard. And especially because Şengün is one of the most efficient players in the league, especially at what he does. That allows you to reward that big man for the work he does. And the more touches he get, the more appreciation he has for his role. And then it allows us to kind of build off of that. And that also brings consistency to our offense. You'll notice that once Şengün gets more opportunity and becomes more efficient and we score more effectively through the first and second quarters, I bet you our percentages around 3 go up. I bet you our mid-range percentages go up because now it's not relied on our 2 guards, 1 and 2, to score first. It's for our team to score, and then our 1 and 2 guards to score outside of that or within that fragment, if that makes sense. So, but I have to get out of here. I'm in a rush. I have to kind of get back to something, but I do appreciate you guys, and I will be here for the next one. I definitely want to contribute. Thank you guys for the opportunity.
You appreciate it, Pals.
Yes, sir.
I'm so sorry, but we're back. Continue.
Yep. Like I say, it definitely was a winnable game. And what's so embarrassing about the loss, San Antonio coming in off an 11-game winning streak, and they're coming in last in the NBA in scoring points. They're coming in last in the NBA in defense. And we made San Antonio just look good, just like that. I mean, again, just wasn't ready in the third quarter. I believe we had a good start in the third quarter. We did have a great start of the third quarter. I thought once we got up 7, I'm like, okay, the Rockets got a little bit momentum. They can pull off here. They get a couple of stops. But then again, like I mentioned earlier, the 4 threes that San Antonio hit back to back kind of killed the Rockets and kind of killed the momentum of the game. And the Rockets, like I said, couldn't score the basketball. The ball stopped moving, and they couldn't take it to the paint because the backup center was just really blocking everything. I mean, they just got outplayed. Out physical, out coached, and Rockets just had no answer in the second half. And in the fourth quarter, I mean, Jalen Green and Kevin Porter, you decided what kind of got me and made me laugh. You decided to finally bring these two guys in when it was 104-89. The game is already in hand. San Antonio already has a game. You could have just kept them on a bench. But again, like I say, man, it was just embarrassing. I mean, they coming in on an 11-game losing streak. You're thinking the Rockets can come in here and get a win and win this ball game. Not easily, but you thinking they can come in and get a hard-fought win after building up the momentum out for Philadelphia and forcing the overtime. And I said I like my chance against San Antonio. All of a sudden, Trey Jones played his best game of his career against us.
Honestly, I mean, it seems like there's always that one guy that just wants to go crazy against us. I mean, Tim Hardaway, Trey Jones, Keldon Johnson. I mean, 9 for 11 at the half and then 32 points overall finishing. He shot pretty well from the field overall. I believe he shot 14 for 21 for 67%. I mean, I get he's good. He's really good. He ain't an all-star. He's not James Harden, who we clamped up 4 for 19.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, I think it's really effort. And then, again, Silas's rotation ability. I mean, his rotation minutes are horrible. You had Knicks playing 18 minutes to Jalen's 29. You got Tari playing 23 minutes to KJ's 20. And Eric Gordon playing 31 with Jabari, playing 34. I'm not really a fan of that, And we gave up too early. I understand we're down 20, but it's not like we haven't done it before.
Yep.
I mean, when Jalen came back in, you said it was...
104-89. Him and Kevin Porter. Yeah, about that time, the game was San Antonio had the game in hand. We couldn't score. We couldn't score the basketball. They already had too much of the momentum in hand. So about that time, you could have just left them on. You could have just left them out because the way our offense was playing and the way we couldn't make a shot, we couldn't even get to the basket. The momentum was already flipped, and San Antonio already had the game pretty much in hand. Trade in the first half. Trey Jones and Keldon Johnson was the scoring for San Antonio. Literally, those two guys were literally the scoring. First half, I believe Trey Jones had 17 points in the first half, and Keldon Johnson had 19 in the first half. Those was really the scoring for the San Antonio Spurs, and everything else just fell apart in the second half after we got that 7-point lead. And after we got that 7-point lead, they hit those 4 threes in a row. But like I say, that's kind of a lack of effort and 50-50 balls that we didn't really get, that we didn't really hustle for. And then you tried to get Trey Jones to shoot the basketball. And the fact is, you just still couldn't stop him from going to the basket. You still couldn't stop him from going to the basket, even when you tried to make him shoot. So that speaks on how bad our perimeter defense really was that night.
I don't know if it's necessarily about it being bad, but I think it's about, we keep coming back to it, effort level. I mean, guys would get blown by and no one's rotating over, I mean, they just sitting there, watch their man get right to the paint or drive right at Şengün or Bari, or Eason. And, usually they get in the foul, as we've seen. And our guys, they just letting it happen. Speaking of rotational minutes, though, we had, when Jalen came out, the score was 71-79 in the third, right?
Okay.
With 2.5 minutes left. So between that and then the 7-minute mark when Jalen came back in, 89-104. I mean, we scored 18 points. That's great. But they scored, gosh dang, near 30. I mean, what? You're giving, and then additionally, you're only playing Jalen and the KPJ 2.5 minutes in the fourth and taking them out, yanking them at 93-113. I understand the game is away from us, but either keep them in to start the fourth quarter or just don't put them back in at the end of the day. But either way, we waved the white flag way too early. I mean, I understand giving, Boban, Josh, and Ty some minutes. That was awesome. I love to see that. Except, 4.5 minutes. I see maybe 3 two, just at the very end there. But I want us to fight the entire game. I understand effort level is a thing, but I mean, Silas being that good cop there, I mean, he's just kind of letting them do what they want to do at the end of the day and not really holding them accountable and expecting the assistant coach to do so. That's flipped.
This is the thing. And I don't want people to think, like I say, I don't want to just go after. You hearing the expectations of Victor Wembanyama. I don't want to have to go after a Victor Wembanyama. I want to go in every game competing and trying to win a basketball game. I don't want to hear those rumors and making it seem like we trying to tank to win. We're not trying to win basketball games.
Every game is game 7 of the finals.
You're not getting better. You're not getting better if you're trying to lose basketball games. You're trying to go out there and lose basketball. You're not getting better. The coaching is, and that's even an indictment on the head coach, Stephen Silas. The players are literally good, but you could question the coaching. You can question our coaches. We know we got the players to try to compete. We shown we can compete night after night. We shown we can beat some very good teams when we on at a good time. Most of our teams that we beat this year are playoff teams. Playoff teams. Most of the teams that we have beaten. I mean, Philadelphia, Phoenix. We came back against Phoenix and beat Phoenix. So we got the talent. We got the guys.
They were the first seed at that time.
Yep. For rotations is got to be better. Rotations got to be better, and we got to get Jabari Smith. We can't allow him to sit up there on the perimeter all game or just do a pick and pop. You got to get him the ball in the post sometime. He's 6'10". You got to get him to do more things, or he's too good of a shooter as well. All of a sudden, move him on set some off ball screens for him. Let him get him an open shot. Just get Jabari Smith some type of ball in the offense when Jalen Green or KPJ not having their best night.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said earlier, I'm really all here for Schengen post-ups. I mean, they always double them down low. So that means it's a free 3, no matter what you're doing, right? I'd rather have Şengün post up and pass out for a missed 3 than try to do some off the dribble pull up mid range or some step back 3. We just need more structure, and I wish Silas was letting them, have that structure instead of like, oh, go ahead, keep taking that. I mean, like I understand if James Harden out here taking step backs, that's his thing, right? I understand if Kobe doing fadeaways, Jordan doing fadeaways, that's their thing. But I mean, KPJ, man, I don't want you doing this dribble mid range. If you gonna shoot, go to the cup, get to the layup, easy. Throw the alley, because I mean Şengün can't really get up, but he's got those lengthy arms. Man, he'll grab that. Or pass the 3, set the screen, do something, anything for the wide open bucket instead of going at it so hard for these contested tough shots. I'd really like to see that. I mean, we've heard a lot of negativity today. One good thing though is Zach Collins, right? Other than the poster, he had 5 turnovers and 5 fouls. I'd say that's pretty good defense from us, but other than that, I mean, that's really the only person we were able to stop, if you will. And that's sad to say that all we're doing is stopping Zach Collins down low. I mean, he can't do nothing else, by the way.
He can't do nothing else. And then San Antonio had they had 2 of their top guys out too. They had some injured guys. Devin Purcell, one of their top shooters, and Jeremiah Sohan, the rookie specimen on the defensive side of the ball, was out as well. So they had some guys out, but at the end of the day, man, like I say, I was really hoping we going out and get a victory against San Antonio. I think the game was winnable. The game was by far winnable. I mean, it's just, I say we wasn't ready to play in the second half. We didn't come out with the right energy in the second half. But like the first 3 minutes in the second half, in the third quarter, I thought we was doing really, really well. We got the lead up to 7. We got the most separation we got all game, and then all hell just broke loose in that. And after that 7-point lead, all hell just broke loose.
Yeah, I mean, after Jalen hit that buzzer beater to end the first half, off the one leg, by the way, the Wembanyama, I was ready for it, I was really ready for it. I was ready for the dub. I was like, oh, here we go. Phoenix part 2. But at the end of the day, we can only do so much. Ended in a 109-118 loss to the San Antonio Spurs, breaking their 11-game losing streak. It is what it is, but we'll move on from there. So I'd like to talk about and prepare us for the coming big man, the monster, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Oh my goodness! I don't know how you feel right now, but he's my MVP favorite. I mean, the Bucks are just a fantastic team, and I understand there's that Harden beef with him. So yeah, I gotta hate him a little bit.
Yeah.
And Giannis is the best player in the league. You know, you can't tell me otherwise.
Yeah. I had him coming in as just the MVP of the year, and I think he's the MVP, man. Like I say, they're the second best team in the Eastern Conference behind Boston right now. I think Boston got a better overall roster, more deeper roster than Milwaukee, but man, it's a load to stop him. You get the All-Star Chris Middleton back. They got a well-balanced team, man. They got a great bench. Pat Connaughton, Bobby Portis. Grayson Allen is even good. He can shoot the basketball pretty much. They got a way balanced team, and it's going to be tough to stop Giannis going downhill as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what we throw at them and how can we do enough to try to contain them. And we got to be one of the worst teams in the league in stopping the 3-point ball. We cannot stop the three for whatsoever. We just got to be one of the worst teams in that doing that, but. Like I say, it's gonna be tough, man. We're gonna have to rebound. We definitely gonna have to rebound when Giannis being a part of the rebounding game, and Lopez can also stretch the floor and shoot and play defense and protect the paint. So we're definitely gonna have to go out there, play hard, rebound. We're gonna have to limit the second chance points, and we're gonna have to limit the turnovers. This is a game you're gonna have to really limit a turnover. You're gonna have to get a shot up every single play. If you can get a shot up every single play, you're doing something good, especially against this team in Milwaukee. You might have a chance, but like I say, it's just mostly gonna come down to effort, and on the defensive side of the basketball, in the rebounding edge. So we can keep them to one and done and not turn the ball on, not have those live ball turnovers. Try to get more possessions than Milwaukee. I think the game could be close, but right now, man, hey man, this is gonna be a tough game. This is gonna be really a tough battle.
No, absolutely. I mean, Giannis averages 32 points per game, 11 rebounds, and 5.4 assists. I believe it's a career high in points per game, as well as about 56% field goal percentage. So like you said, we're gonna have to really force him to shoot some threes. He's shooting a career low, I believe, for 27% from three.
Yeah.
So if we can really force him to those kind of sets, let him get a little confident. He's not going 5 for 5 against us like he did against the Lakers that one time. I'm sorry, but I mean, even if we can get a hand up in there, I'd love that. Yep. However, if he gets the cup, it's over. I mean, he had what 45, 47 against us on his most efficient game of his career. Last time we played, October 22nd. I mean,
the game was over before it started. The game was over really before it started.
Absolutely. After that first half, we were down, I think 13 or 14. I had a little bit of hope, but again, I mean, it's Giannis. He's a one-man team. It doesn't matter who it is. Taking Boston, the eventual Eastern Conference champions, to Game 7 by himself. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can only do so much. And now they have Drew Holiday, who's looking kind of shaky there. We can force him to the threes. But Chris Middleton, I mean, him coming back is a real big thing for them. I'm really not ready to face that. It's closest thing, probably, I think, in my opinion, his biggest comp is Brandon Ingram. The way that they play, and they can kind of play make. They're solid at rebounding, and they're solid defenders, especially Chris Middleton on that end. All defensive second team defender, in my opinion. We'll see what we can do. If we can get transition buckets, that's going to be the big thing, because other than Giannis and Chris Middleton, no one's really quick enough to really stop Jalen, especially being the fastest player in the league, IMO. We'll see what we can do about that. But I'd say that's going to have to wrap it up today. You can find us on Twitter at DripGod_, and my boy,
Coach Dante 31.
Yeah, have a good one, guys.
Have a good one, y'all.